Greetings, Earth Explorers. Welcome to X Squared Radio, where the past meets the future. I'm your host, Brooks Agnew. In here, the results are always positive. We explore the mysteries of the universe and of the Earth. Whether you are driving across the country tonight or listening on the web while you're working on your favorite project, you are about to learn more about who we are, why we are here, and what we may become than you thought possible. We might go a little past your imagination, but have no fear. You will be safely traveling with us. Keep your arms inside the vehicle, recline your chair, and look out the window as we launch X Squared Radio. Greetings, Earth Explorers. We are so glad you're here with us tonight. My AccuWindow forecast tonight, about 49 degrees and rainy everywhere on Earth, just about. Here in eastern Kentucky, we're coming to you live. The solar wind is holding at 364.4 kilometers per second. Sunspot 1042 is passing across the sun as we speak. It is large and a member of solar cycle 24. Looks like we're in for a very active year. Solar flare from sunspots will cause havoc with satellites, which can knock out cell phones and wireless internet connections. Last year, when NASA's IBEX spacecraft discovered a ribbon at the edge of the solar system, researchers were mystified. They called it a shocking result and puzzled over its origin. We believe the ribbon is a reflection, says Jacob Heron-Cusin, a NASA heliophysicist, guest investigator from the University of Alabama in Huntsville. It is where solar wind particles heading out into interstellar space are reflected back into the solar system by a galactic magnetic field. The solar system is passing through a region of the Milky Way filled with cosmic rays and interstellar clouds. The magnetic field of our own sun, inflated by the solar wind into a bubble called the heliosphere, substantially protects us from these things. However, the bubble itself is vulnerable to external fields. A strong magnetic field just outside the solar system could press against the heliosphere and interact with it in unknown ways. Will this strengthen our natural shielding or weaken it? No one can say. Old sunspot 1039 still has some life left in it. Yesterday, it unleashed a strong solar flare and triggered a solar tsunami. The eruption, which took place on the far side of the sun, was invisible from Earth. Nevertheless, NASA's Stereo B spacecraft had a new great view. Stereo B is stationed over the sun's eastern limb, where it can see things we cannot. Solar rotation is slowly turning sunspot 1039 back toward our planet, and Stereo B will keep an eye on it as it approaches. When Lawrence Reese was cleaning up his sub shop in Lorton, Virginia, late Monday afternoon, he heard a tremendous impact outside. Something had come hurtling out of the sky and crashed through the roof of a nearby doctor's office, landing in an empty examination room. The debris was smoldering and metallic. The two physicians puzzled over the item. Whatever had come through the roof had broken into several pieces. The two doctors speculated that part of an airliner had come off and fallen through their roof. A nearby circular hole was punched through the building's roof. An acquaintance suggested the possibility of a meteorite, so the debris was sent to the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in nearby Washington, D.C. It's definitely a meteorite, concluded Linda Welzenbach, who oversees the museum's collection of natural space objects. It was a black fusion crust, which tells us that it passed through the atmosphere. Most meteorites are small, about the size of a pea. The one that landed in Lorton was bigger than a human fist before it broke into pieces inside the doctor's office. Good thing that examination room was empty. Just as reincarnation has functioned as a connection and balance, so too has the concept of tikkun, that's fixing ourselves and the world. Now is the time to utilize our abilities to connect beyond both of those ideas. Mankind must cross the chasm that has separated it from the original source of life. It is time to enact the proper resurrection and transformation that is required to rebalance and fix this planet. That's a quote from Rabbi Yossi. NASA's newest space telescope, the Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, that's called WISE, is expected to be an excellent hunter of dark asteroids. On January 12th, WISE made its first catch, a kilometer-class space rock named 2010 AB78. If researchers are correct, this is just the first of hundreds of near-Earth objects and hundreds of thousands of main belt asteroids that WISE is capable of finding. Now that could be interesting. We definitely want to keep up with that telescope. It's doing a great job. My guest tonight is Jonathan Elinoff. His website is newworldorderreport.com. We'll be with him in 40 seconds. Don't go away. We'll be back. X Squared Radio.
The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness. The spice is vital to space travel.
I want to thank everyone for their emails. We don't normally do conspiracy theories on this program. You can just kind of get caught in the quicksand and down the hole you go. However, I have had a lot of mail and a lot of suggestions that we should get a credible conspiracy theory expert on the program. I've done some research, and the best out there, as far as I'm concerned, Jonathan Elinoff. He's our guest tonight. Welcome to the program, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me, as always. It's a pleasure to be on.
Well, you know, I'm in new territory here. We normally talk about science, and we talk about the mysteries of the universe and of the earth. And one of the interesting things that people keep bringing up to me is the category of conspiracy theories. We don't normally do them on this program, but I really wanted to tread carefully in this water because it is so turbulent and it's such a quagmire, it seems. Most talk radio programs that cover this don't do a very good job. But yours, New World Order Report, does a fantastic job. And I've seen several of your YouTube clips, and I've talked to some of your fans. And I'm very impressed with how thorough you are and how you vet the information before you put it out there.
Well, thank you. That's something I take a lot of responsibility for. I only get into something if I can find credible sources on it. If I can't, I just tell people, look, I'm familiar. I know what's out there, what people are saying, but unless we can get a credible source on it, it's just talk. And that's how I look at conspiracy theories. Obviously, there are conspiracies that take place. We have a justice system because people conspire. But my whole thing is, and I'm a long-time reader and researcher in organized crime and history major. And I specialized in recent history, black ops, things like that. So the conspiracy theories I always found an interest in naturally were ones that involved politics more than anything else. But over the last, I'd say, 10 years or so, I started realizing that there is a large movement, if you will, awakening to not just conspiracy theories, but everything. It's hitting pop culture. It's now trend. I just finished a book on trends, and it actually says that this is the next trend in our pop culture is alternative history, conspiracy theory, things like that. This is the new trend. It is now hip. All the artists, the screenwriters, the actors and celebrities, and the writers and the musicians, and everyone in society who's really shaping our consciousness, if you will, or playing a part in reflecting it, has now come out in support of pretty much conspiracy theories, whether it's vaccinations or 9/11 or whatever, whatever it is, a HARP. Everybody somewhere seems to be on board with something, and then we're all communicating now because of the internet. So the next trend now is the rest of culture, the rest of society is going to take a few years, but it's a ripple effect. They're going to go where the artists are going, and if you pay attention, you know probably as well as I do, I'm going to the Television Producers Convention in Las Vegas this week, which is the next 3 days. Everybody out there, all the producers, all my friends in Hollywood, all the writers, the hottest thing right now is conspiracy